back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be about how I became a paralegal. Oh my god. Over on my TikTok, so many people have been asking questions about it, and I've posted some like YouTube shorts of a day in the life of a paralegal, like applying to law school. I figured why not do a video on how I became a paralegal. So here we go. First thing I'm going to talk about is like a paralegal certificate. Do you need one? I say no. From my particular experience and from my journey becoming a paralegal, I didn't need one. I contemplated getting one. I just didn't think that I needed one. Those things can cost pretty penny if I'm not mistaken. When I was looking for a program or certificate to help me become a paralegal, it was about like some of them were $3,000, some of them were $1,000, some of them were just a lot of money, and I kind of personally didn't think that the money was worth it. So I took to different steps of getting my first paralegal job. I kind of feel like I kind of got lucky with how I got my job. So I was scrolling on Instagram one day, and this was about like I think more like 4 years ago. I graduated college 2021, and that's when I started my paralegal journey. I was scrolling on Instagram and this guy had posted where he worked, and I was like, oh, I kind of sort of just slid in his DMs and asked him, hey, what do you do? What's the job about? And we kind of just talked about what he did at the job, and I kind of just asked him like, hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a paralegal job. Do you think that you could put in a good word? And he said yes. I sent in my application. Once that was sent, I think maybe a week later, I got a phone call or email for the next steps for the paralegal position. So after that, I interviewed, and I want to say that was the worst interview I've ever had in my life because one, I did not prepare for the interview. The interview was with 5 different people, and all of them were attorneys, and I had no experience doing anything else. I think I worked at the YMCA. I worked for like as a teacher's assistant. I had no paralegal experience, so they were like, this girl really isn't fit for the job, and I didn't do good on the interview. I wasn't answering the questions correctly. I didn't know much about what they did, and they sensed that, and I held a good name, so I was sad. But I did send a thank you email telling the hiring manager, I think her title was, and I said, thank you so much for the opportunity. If you have anything else, please let me know. And that was that. And I was devastated. I still was looking for jobs just to get my foot in the door. And then I received an email from the hiring manager, and she said, hey, we have a different position. Would you be interested in it? And I said, yes, I would. So she set up the interview, and I prepared for that interview so much. I made sure I practiced questions. I wrote the questions out. I practiced with my sister, my family, and I prepared for that interview the best I could, and I think I did really great because I got the job. And yeah, the rest is history. I stayed at the company for about a year, and then I transitioned into another position, which is a paralegal position. It was doing different work, and it was at a whole different law field. I first worked for a DA's office, then I worked for a civil law firm. I transitioned into a mid-sized law firm, and then I transitioned to somewhere else, which is where I currently work. And yeah, the rest is history. I now have about 3+ years of being a paralegal and assisting attorneys with their workload. That's how I became a paralegal. If you need some advice, I would say prepare for the interview. Network is really about who you know and who you have connections with. I say network, definitely utilize your resources, speak to people, go to law firms, go to DA's offices, and try your hardest. Send emails, do everything you can, and go get that job. If you have exhausted everything and you still can't find a paralegal job, maybe invest in that paralegal certificate. I'm pretty sure if you haven't received a job offer or haven't gotten another job from just networking and talking to people, definitely get that paralegal certificate. It just so happens in my case I didn't need one. And also my resume, I think my resume is really good. Even before I had paralegal experience, my resume was really clean, to the point, corporate looking. So if you can invest in getting your resume reviewed by somebody, a family member or a professional. I utilize Fiverr a lot for so many different things. So Fiverr is a great place to get your resume revised. But yeah, I do think you should invest in that. So don't just send out a rinky-dink resume you haven't touched or updated in like a year or two. So I do think invest in updating your resume, network, and see where it goes. If you've exhausted everything, get that paralegal certificate. That is how I became a paralegal. I hope that helps. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.